Hello, new teacher recruits. I am Elvin Chan and welcome to today's training video. So for today's video, I will be talking about the implementations that you can do to improve your online classroom participation patterns. Let's get started. So as you can see, there are two main methods that I will be suggesting to improve participation patterns. Firstly, to utilize prior knowledge, and secondly, to promote group work within your online classroom. So let's talk about the first method, which is to utilize prior knowledge. In order to increase student participation, you should utilize students' prior knowledge when attempting to teach them new topics or concepts. So, some questions before we move on. What is prior knowledge? Well, prior knowledge is defined as all the knowledge a learner has before learning about a new and somewhat related topic. Now, why is prior knowledge important? Well, it facilitates learning new information. How does prior knowledge work? Well, learners will combine their prior knowledge with experience when presented with new information. Learners make sense of their experiences or learning using their own schemata. So in this training video, I will be covering 5 activities that you can do to utilize students' prior knowledge before start teaching a new content lesson to them, which are image brainstorm, Kwl chart, picture books, ABC brainstorming, and class brainstorm web. So for image brainstorming, in the online classroom platform, whether you use WebEx or Zoom or Google Meet, share an image and ask your students to tell you everything they can about the picture. Choose images that make sense to them. The teacher could then connect it to the new content that the students will be teaching. Secondly, the Kwl chart, which is a widely used and useful tool for priming the students before content teaching. Teachers can use this Kwl chart using interactive platforms like Google Docs so that students can fill in each of the boxes, which are K, what I know, W, what I want to know, and L, what I learned. For the third activity, which is picture book, it is the same concept as image brainstorming because they both use images. Picture books, they contain short texts that can be read aloud and has bright illustrations that can pique students' interest. Picture books are especially useful for very, very young students, such as in kindergarten or primary schools. However, never underestimate that it can also be used for mature students, such as in secondary school or even university students. Number 4, which is ABC brainstorming. In pairs, students are provided a soft copy of a document containing 26 boxes for each letter of the alphabet. By providing one keyword that connects to the new concept, students will then fill in those boxes with words starting with different alphabets. This way, students will have a wide range of new words or keywords and vocabularies that you can use to teach them the new content. Last and definitely not least is the class brainstorm web. This is more specific for online classrooms in which the teacher will say a word or phrase. Then the students will write as many words connected to it that they think of in the chat box. This will ensure the chat stay visible so that they can be referred again when starting to teach the new content. The teacher may even ask the students to add in more words as the lesson goes. This way, students and teachers will have plenty of keywords and phrases that they can refer to when the new concept is being taught. So, to conclude the first method, as we can see, by implementing these activities that utilize prior knowledge, students are able to participate actively at the very beginning of class, motivating them to learn more. And now we have come to the second implementation, which is to promote group work. Promoting group work is a great way to increase students' participation in the online classroom. Group work requires meticulous planning and execution in order to make the task worthwhile for teaching a topic to students. So, a few basic questions before we move on. What is group work? Well, group work is work done by a group of people, or in this case, your students, in collaboration to achieve a common goal. Now, why is group work important? Well, the first importance is that it is to promote active participation during the classroom. Group work is student centered, making the lesson teaching much more interesting and engaging. It is also to create a harmonious and united classroom environment, and it is to improve other soft skills such as communicative and problem solving skills. So, in order to execute a proper group work in your online classroom, there are 5 stages that you, the teacher, should go through. Firstly, to prepare. Second, design. Thirdly, introduce. Fourth, monitor, and end. For the first stage, which is to prepare, teachers need to strategize the arrangement of each group. Consider the students' comfort, whether the students will be pre-assigned or you will let the students have free reign and letting them choose their group mates themselves. The most important thing is that students can work well together, while it is easy for the teacher to monitor them. Secondly, to design, in which the teacher needs to identify the instructional objectives. The teacher needs to determine what achievement is to be expected from the group activity, both academically and socially. The activities should relate closely to the course objectives and class content and must be designed to help students learn, not simply just to occupy their time. Consider making the task challenging to help improve students' critical skills and problem-solving skills. The group task should encourage students' involvement and interdependence. Also, it should have a fair division of labor so that each member of the group can contribute and be part of the learning process. It is also important that allocation of time is sufficient for each task. Thirdly, to introduce, at the beginning of the online class, the teacher, which is you, should share the rationale for using the group work with students. Students must understand the benefits of collaborative learning and how it can improve their understanding of the new content. The teacher should explain the big picture and goals to establish a mutual understanding for all. Then, explain the task clearly. This means giving the students clear instructions as well as expectations of the final product for their group work. Number 4, which is to monitor, the teacher should always show their confidence in students' abilities. It is important to not take full charge of students' work. The teacher should only act as a facilitator to help guide them reach their end goal. Any inquiries by the students should be taken seriously to help them with their task. Lastly, the final stage, which is to end the group work, you as the teacher should conclude the group work. Allow each group to report their entire process. Reports include oral or written reports. Also, using their own words, ask students to reflect on their task and relate what they have done to the learning contents. To conclude this second method, by implementing group work, not only will students be able to actively participate in learning new content, they can also learn various soft skills along the way. So, that is how you, as a teacher leader, can improve your participation patterns in your online classroom, which is to utilize prior knowledge and to promote group work among your students. And that is all for today's training video. Thank you very much for your active listening. And for further details, feel free to contact me with the credentials below. Thank you and have a good day, future teacher leader.